you know, Armenians, we have a sense of spirituality just because of our religion growing up, and they all believe that there's somebody there watching over them. So when they go to battle, they feel like something is looking over there. So for them, it's not necessarily just about Christianity. It's about the good versus evil. And most of them, you know, I've had patients who came in, one guy had a bullet just missing the heart by like this much, a millimeter. And if it went in, he would have been dead. And his cross, he was the only thing he said that saved his life. And he said, everywhere I went, I had that cross and it saved me from multiple situations. So in that way, they're connected very spiritually. You know, they hold on to those things, and most of them go to church right before battle, and they really believe that there's something there that helps guide them in their, you know, battles out there. So, but the enemy, you know, they want to make this into a religious thing, and they're using religion as a way to attack one of the Christian nations and surrounded by a lot of Muslim nations. And unfortunately, being super hardcore Muslims as they are, they're using drugs that are definitely proved psychedelics, all kinds of stuff on the battlefield, which goes completely against their religion, right? So on the one hand, they use religion as an excuse to attack, and on the other hand, these hardcore religious people are using things that are completely against their religion. We have a lot of physicians on ground, but here's the thing: we're not here to just serve the Armenian people. We're here to serve anybody who's injured, right? I've personally treated 2 Azeri soldiers myself, right? Spent 6-8 hours. Once they're in the hospital, they're a civilian for us, right? We treat them equally the same way, right? And we put all our energy and resources on every person, regardless of who they are. So we've come here to help anybody who's injured, who has unfortunately had bad injuries during the war. So yes, there are a lot of us from different parts of the world. We work in shifts. Some groups come, other groups go, and we take a lot of pride in, you know, showing what humanity is about. And we help out every single person that we can. And even our soldiers, you know, they do the best they can to bring back those that they see that are half alive, so that we could treat them. Sometimes, you know, it's difficult when you see on the other side of the coin where they are literally taking our prisoners of war with their hands tied behind their back and shooting them, literally. But, you know, we don't allow that to discourage us. We keep doing what we think is the right thing, and hopefully we set an example for them. How do Azeri soldiers end up here? Well, during the battle, a few of the battles, we had surrounded them and they tried to escape. They were essentially all eliminated, or they managed to run away. Azeris don't like to come back and take their wounded or the dead. We know that. There's been multiple ceasefires for that purpose, and it hasn't happened. I mean, they got soldiers on ground that have been dead for like weeks, and cholera is breaking out. Some of the soldiers are saying it smells so bad because they're not coming back. So our soldiers, when they see, when they go to the areas that they've already taken over, they see wounded soldiers there, and they just put them on cars and bring them over. Some of them are like, you know, half wounded, half awake, and so they bring them to multiple hospitals. And we can't tell who they are, right? All their clothes are off, so we treat them equally, and then later on find out like so-and-so was an Azeri, mercenaries, right? I've treated a mercenary, and you can tell because I have a lot of Arabic friends who speak Arabic, and I know how Turkish sounds. They speak completely in Arabic to me. And but I mean, you know, you still give them all the, you know, 10% effort to keep them alive. So I personally, I mean, I can't share the details of it. One day it will, hopefully we can all meet when all this is over and I could give you the details, but they are mercenaries for sure. And they're not 18, 19-year-old. These are highly trained. You can tell from their physique, and just, you can tell they're pretty high level mercenaries. So that's another thing that the world is completely turning their eye on, turning away from it. And I don't understand why, because we know those things can catch fire and cause a lot of problems for the world community at large. So we need to be careful of those. And, you know, you've seen a few of them being interviewed on TV, probably. And these are real facts. I mean, if somebody told me, I would believe it, but when I see it with my own eyes and touch it and help the person, if anybody decides to deny that, it's like saying the sky is not blue. So they do exist, and they're here, and there's plenty of them. I mean, again, when I say I'm speaking on behalf of the medical community, other people within our group that have personally treated them. I haven't physically touched them, but I've seen them or interacted with them indirectly. When I say treated them, I mean I physically been in the OR operating on them and helped them stabilize it and keep them alive personally. But there's been multiple ones for sure. I see myself as creating, I mean, this is my home. I was born here, and I know I have a lot more work to do here. So I can see myself being here more frequently, helping out with the rebuilding process and rebuilding everything that was demolished. I have cousins who live in Stepanakert, and I know that place is, you know, zero now in terms of all the bombing. And I'm a physician, so I'm going to do my part in rebuilding the hospitals, helping out with, you know, every possible way that I can to get the infrastructure back up. So I see that as a long-term plan of mine, to be continuously involved and not just like, okay, I was here 30 days, did my work, and I'm done. I see this only as the beginning, not the end of my actual duty and work that I have to do here.